Hi, this is Chris from IELTS 360. In this video, we are going to look at the questions in Cambridge IELTS 10, Test 2, and its second listening section. So this is a section 2, so we're only expecting one speaker. And from the title of the page, we see that the talk is going to be about some new city developments. We see that there's two different question types here. We have a multiple choice with A, B, C choices, and then we have a matching set where we have the names of some continents and some features. Because of these two question types, I'm going to expect a lot of distractors, a lot of them saying something that sounds like more than one possibility, but only one of them being the correct choice. I also need to kind of predict what kind of keywords I think are either going to have synonyms or antonyms that I need to be aware of. And then I also want to think about what kind of trick words are in any of the questions that might make me think that the wrong answer is the right one. Okay, so let's take a look at the multiple choice questions. So in this first question, the idea for the new developments in the city came from. Well, okay, we're going to have to listen for where did the ideas come from. My guess is the other two will be mentioned, but is not going to be where the ideas are from. For question 2, we see what is unusual about the Brackenside pool. So obviously something is unusual. The other ones are not clearly unusual. With the 13, the local newspapers are worried about something. So if one thing is something they're worried about, the other two things are things that they probably don't need to be worried about. And the last one, what decision has not yet been made? Every time I see that not, it makes me worried. It makes me think, how are they going to flip that? How are they going to trick me with that? So again, I'm expecting that most of these things are already settled, but one of these things is still in the decision-making process. All right, so now for the matching questions. So when I'm looking here, I see that we have different areas of the world, and we have the feature which is going to be described, and these are going to be some way associated in a playground. Immediately, I can see that there's no really way to add any tricks to the questions, because the names of the areas really have no synonyms and no variables. So that means that I'm going to expect them to maybe talk about how they change their plan, and that's why some of these extra features are going to be mentioned but not be answers. Finally, remember to be prepared for the possibility of synonyms for any of these features, or that they'll simply give an example related to that feature, which is why we should choose it. So let me just finish off by going over some general tips about how you should go about your practice. First, remember to predict generally, not specifically, when trying to think about synonyms that you might be listening for, because in many cases, the synonym you're looking for is not the one that they're going to use. Also, remember that you're going to miss some of them in your practice. Just move on. Don't get hung up about the question that you missed. Before you check your answer key, I would really recommend that you listen again so that you have that chance to actually hear the answer before you use the answer key to tell you. Also, check your plurals before checking the answer key. If there are any plurals in a gap fill, this can be quite important. It's one of the easy ways to lose points. I would also recommend looking at the audio script after checking the answer key or joining us in our answer review video. Finally, make sure that you note any language that tricked you or the language that almost tricked you, because the more language like that that you are familiar with and aware of, the less likely you are to get tricked again. I hope that this question overview has been useful for your studies. Once you've completed your practice, please check out our answer review video where you can see why you might have gotten some of the answers wrong and how many you got right. The link to that video will be in the description below, as well as a link to us on Facebook in case you would like to inquire about the IELTS practice and preparation in the future.